The second race of the Truck Series. We're heading to Phoenix. I'm joined up here in the booth by, once again, Big Jim 11. Jim, what are you thinking about for today's race at Phoenix?
Oh man, we changed gears from one of the fastest tracks on the schedule, no braking whatsoever, to one that requires a little more finesse. I love Phoenix, and I'm interested to see what these truck guys can do at it.
Yes, it's definitely interesting. Who are you feeling like? Who's your pick to win today so far? I mean, we had Tiger
Well,
NASCAR. He pretty much stole Daytona away from his teammate, sadly. He'd moved up already. Who are you thinking is just going to get that win today?
well, looking through the field, I mean, I'm really starting to think that guys like Ghost Killer 99109, I've seen him put down some fast laps at Phoenix, so I think he's a guy to look out for. Also, Killer XL, if he can avoid the lag, I think that Frank will be up there as well.
Definitely. I mean, last season he had done some amazing work. I think in the Truck Series after there had been an opening inside Nice for CGR. He'd done some amazing work down there. I think he managed to snag a win and a good handful of top fives last season. So he'd definitely be one to watch today. And honestly, my pick for the race today, it's more out of hope than anything, and just love for my owner, R Bales. He was running some actually pretty decent laps today, from what he told me. So it'll definitely be interesting to see where he plays out, or how he goes for this race.
And one thing I remember about Phoenix that has translated to any league you go to, any preset league, is that you have to have a setup. You have to have something you do down pit road, or a preset that you put in one of the sliders, have a certain setup there. Because, I mean, if you're not on the right setup and you're too tight or too loose here, it's going to be hell for you all night long.
Definitely. Phoenix is one of those tracks where you do not want to be tight. You want to be able to make those turns and stay on that inside line as much as you can. Otherwise, you're just going to drop like a hammer and, I don't know, a hammer in water or something.
Yeah, that's a good that's a good what would they call them, idioms? I don't know my English either, but
I'm not, I'm
the
no
way
English
you say
major.
that, yeah, the bottom line is preferable, I would say here, but there is that second line up there where in real life the PJ1 is laid down pretty thick. Up there in turns 1 and 2, 3 and 4, you can have that outside work in, and it gives you a very nice run off the corner onto these long straightaways. So, it really is a multi-groove racetrack, and it's going to be interesting to see which guys can utilize that outside groove.
It is definitely multi-groove. It is not like some of the tracks on the schedule where it's just, inside line or outside line. You've got your choices, and they're honestly pretty good. If you go on that inside line, you've got the chance to get up ahead of someone who's on the outside and pull up in front of them and just park it there and keep going down that backstretch. And if you're on the outside line, you've got the opportunity to get the biggest run you possibly can and just fly by everyone. So it'll definitely be interesting to see who utilizes that today, as they are getting qualifying done shortly.
So one of the commentators for the Cup and Xfinity races on Thursdays and Mondays has the stream up. Code Red Do has the lap counter stream up for us.
Could you possibly send that to me? Well, actually, no.
Yeah, he put that. He
Keep
put that
that
in
to
the
yourself.
broadcast
Yeah, I see
chat.
that now. Yes, the lap counter is definitely going to be a big help. Is he streaming qualifying?
I believe he is.
All
If
right,
y'all
I'll
want to go
definitely.
subscribe to him, his name is The Wrestling, one word, space, now, NOW. So go give him a sub.
Definitely. Is there really anything else you'd like to say? I mean, we're coming off of definitely interesting race at Daytona for the Truck Series last week or last Wednesday, where it was pretty chaotic with the whole manufacturer war going on, all this battling in between different teams and Ford and Toyota against Chevy. But honestly, Chevy ended up pretty much clean sweeping all three of Daytona races. So,
Hmm. Yeah, they had Tiger NASCAR. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Kluka or any of the other Chevy guys that were really strong at Daytona, but Tiger is in his own zip code. He could be Cup if he wanted to be. But on top of that, I mean, you got very different racetracks to look at. You're not going to be seeing manufacturer battles happening at Little Phoenix. You're going to be seeing a lot of talent. This is a driver's track, and you should see the top talent in the series, rise to the top.
definitely Tiger could definitely be Cup if he really wanted to, and honestly, I'm sure he could definitely find some people out there that say he needs to be Cup, that he cannot run the lower series. He will just dominate too much. Which I'm not sure if I want to argue with that or not, but I'm gonna leave that to the people to decide where Tiger belongs.
Yeah, let's hear what y'all have to say in the comments section. What do y'all have to say for it? Should Tiger be Cup driver, or should he be? I mean, he's been all over. He's been Cup. He's been Trucks. He's now Xfinity. So where does he belong?
Yeah, I mean, somehow he had managed to, obviously got a pretty nice win at Daytona, and then coming over to Xfinity Monday. Keep getting that mixed up. Last Monday in Xfinity, he'd managed to barely steal the win out from under Dank Booty Flake's nose. Sadly, Dank had ran out of fuel coming out of turn 4 and just lost the lead. It was a
That's
sad
brutal.
sight to behold, and we actually, through some insider research, we had found out that Dank, during the last manual caution, had been sitting in second gear the entire time. So that
Oh,
we're going to believe that that's where he lost that little bit of fuel.
could have just put it in gear 4. Yeah,
Sadly,
that is a heartbreaker.
that pushed Dank out of his first win in the Xfinity series. I mean, he's definitely got plenty more tracks, especially coming up tomorrow if he is one of the racers.
So they have finished up qualifying here. Waiting on Code Red to maybe scroll up or down and find who won the poll, because right now it's not showing.
Hopefully he does scroll up and down. It would be nice to know who got pole. Hopefully we can.
I could tell you we have 19 guys in the race tonight. Maybe more.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure.
A truck
Shake and
series.
Bake, 69 gets the pole,
Oh,
and Jason Cole getting second.
good on him, and if I'm not mistaken, that is. I'm probably going to be mistaken again, but I believe he is a. I'm struggling with this one. I believe he was former SHR for their Xfinity series. So, I mean, seeing him come down to trucks and, grab the pole for today, I think things are starting to look up pretty good for him. I do not remember what exactly happened at Daytona. I do remember seeing him up front for a while, but I don't think he got too amazing of a finish.
Yeah, I think he got caught up in all the mess behind him, if I were to guess. That's where everyone that wasn't in that top pack was. They were in the messes behind.
Yeah, Daytona as a whole for this league definitely was not our best showing. It really showed the worst in about all of us. But hopefully here today we can actually remedy that a good bit for the truck series. Seeing as both Xfinity and Cup have already had their bit of, I guess, a rebirth of some sorts. Hopefully we can get in here shortly since they're done with qualifying.
Yep. I believe TGS Predators got third place and King Henry getting fourth place right there. I don't know who had fifth. It might have been Dalator, but I could be wrong.
Definitely. I mean, shit. It's very nice seeing KBM HRE getting or qualifying pretty high, decently high up. So hopefully we get to see what they can truly do during a track that is not Daytona.
And this one is 3 times wear instead of 2 times?
Yes, this race is going to be 3 times wear. I think 2 times it gives them too much fuel, I believe. I could be very wrong, though.
I think 2 times you can get very close on fuel and tires. Tires are more of a concern here at Phoenix, I believe. And doing 3 times, it should require that last pit stop. So maybe they're trying to. I mean, you don't want to take strategy out of the equation, but some guys don't have a wheel, and it is physically impossible to save with a controller sometimes. So this might be a way to remedy that issue.
Definitely. I mean, not there ain't a whole lot of people in this league. None of us are particularly, rich people. We race with what we got. Some of us are very lucky. Some of us do have those wheels, and we do race with them, and we're good with them, but you just gotta use what you need to sometimes. And honestly, I think they do a damn good job of using those controllers, even if it's to save or just race.
Oh yeah, it's impressive, especially at the super speedways. The guys that were able to win. I know Tiger was on a wheel, but Kluka, he might have been on controller back there. I'm not 100% sure, and he did a really good job of holding the bottom without slamming the apron. So those guys that are able to really get it down with a controller comes from a lot of muscle memory, but it's still impressive nonetheless.
Yes, definitely. Despite what people say about the Truck Series being the lesser talented series, there's honestly been a bit of a resurgence from last season. I mean, we've gotten a whole lot more talent just sitting down there in the Truck Series. They're just ready and pushing to come up into Xfinity and Cup as soon as possible. So it seems like we're going to be able to get in here very shortly.
Yeah, we are still paused. I think we might be waiting on a few drivers to get in the lobby because right now it's showing a player count of 20. I think 21 green lighted tonight on Discord.
22, actually.
22, yep, so we're missing 2.
Whew. Anyway, Jim, I know we kind of went over this earlier, but for the audience, could you restate your pick to win? Because Heredia apparently didn't catch that.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to go back because I think I believe I said Ghost Killer Tim. I think he'll be very strong because he seems to be very underrated. So I think he'll be up there, and I also think I said Killer XL, but I might change that just looking at what I'm seeing out of qualifying. I might change my second, auxiliary pick to TGS Predators. I don't know much about him, but he looked pretty fast in qualifying, so if he can translate that to the race, you'll be in good shape.
Definitely, and again, all three of those people, they've got talent to spare. I mean, again, Killer, I think he had a win or two last season. I believe he actually won, I think it was the Gateway race last season in the Truck Series after a very catastrophic incident involving the 2 and 16 trucks. But, yeah, Gillard managed to sneak out a win there just ahead of his teammate in GU YT2, another multi-win driver.
That's another good pick for tonight, but I don't know if he's in there.
I do not believe he's shown up yet, sadly. That's a bit of a shame. I mean, he's definitely the championship threat competitor.
If he made it, he'd be the one to beat, I believe, because he's just so fast in a truck. And last season was in contention for the championship until some late contact with the 17 and getting into battles, and kind of let H-Wix just run away with it. But
definitely, GU is just nothing but speed in the Truck Series. And yes, sadly, at Chicagoland, Dallator and GU had had a bit of an incident the entirety of Chicagoland, and they had spent most of the time or most of the race fighting, which kind of it put them both out of the win or the championship, and just kind of gave it off to H-Wicks. And again,
Yeah, and we
restating
can
here.
join, by the way.
Yes, I have. Again, restating here, Shake and Bake 069 managing to get that pole by just 0.012 seconds. So it's definitely close for today. We're going to get in here and see if we've missed too much.
Looks like they're still on the starting screen. I'm still in the Fanatec loading screen.
I am as well.
And here we go.
Haven't gotten in yet, so one moment. NASCAR Heat 5 is not well known for its loading times. It's more well known for decent racing and not having enough paint schemes in the season. Anyway, coming here, Shake and Bake still holding the lead, and it looks like the 8 truck might have second coming out of turn 4.
It does, and that's Jason Cole, 65.
And honestly, if you watch them, it's not really surprising. You see all of them using up that entire front stretch all the way down to pit wall. I'm not a huge fan of using all the way down to the pit wall. I typically go about halfway.
They're wrecking in the back. Somebody just wrecked. There's Kush Knight.
That's definitely a bit of a shame for him. I mean, I believe, didn't you say he had qualified in 4th position?
Kush Knight? No, that was King Henry.
King Henry, speaking of which, has moved up to 3rd.
Oh, look at the send right there from Jason Cole, trying to get to the inside for the lead.
There's definitely a lot of beating and banging between really all these trucks, and you're going to see Jason Cole get a bit of a run here because he used up a lot of that inside lane off the finish line. So it seems like he's still going to keep the outside. He's going to stay just... No, he's going to slip in behind Shake and Bake, actually.
Yeah, this track's odd, Captain. I mean, you know, you're getting so much speed on the straightaway, and then you have to really woe it down. Sometimes the truck can turn for you, and there's a nice pit wall right there waiting to meet you if you turn a little too much to the left, or if the truck turns too much to the left for you. It's quite a scary proposition.
Definitely, that pit wall, I'm getting awfully close there, but yeah, that pit wall, that sticks out like a sore thumb, and I'm sure by the end of the day, you're definitely going to see a good few trucks hit that pit wall, be it head-on or just a small tap on the left side.
Yeah, you're trying to send it to the inside of somebody, trying to get a position, but it's really playing chicken with that pit wall, especially in 3 and 4.
Definitely. I mean, going through that turn, you're taking a good bit of a gamble if you try and go as hard as you can inside. The real place you want to try and get on the inside is that turn just before start-finish line. You really want to hold as low as you can to just try and get up ahead of the person in front of you.
Yeah, you can do that, but drivers have different philosophies on that. I mean, you could use all the way down there, go straight down to the left. Maybe if you're in second like Jason Cole is, try to take the shortest way around. But if you're the 2, you're trying to keep all the momentum and have a good arc going into turn 1. So, I mean, I've seen this in Cup with Heredia and Joker and Riley and all of them. They all have different philosophies on that.
Definitely. I mean, it really does boil down on the track position. Like you said, if you're up front, you really want to try and keep your momentum. There's no reason in trying to cut off the people behind you if you've just got the best run you possibly can get. But if you're just behind someone, whether it be fighting for first, and actually we're going to have a bit of a battle again. Jason Cole moving up to the inside of Shake and Bake once again, but he's just going to keep falling back. It looks like that inside line isn't as good as we kind of made it out to be.
Oh, 51 just got punted. I don't know who that was. It just punted him, but that's a
Definitely,
34.
it looks like, yeah, the 34 of... Like,
Overbeak.
Oh, yes.
Game a shot going through
Overbeak.
turns 3 and 4, but that 51 has the outside if he could just hold it.
I definitely would not be surprised if the opportunity ever arises for the 51. I could definitely see a bit of retaliation again, and as it looks like here, Jason Cole is going to lose second place. He might have just had a bad entry coming into that last corner, or that last turn.
He missed the corner entirely, way up the track.
Yeah, sadly collecting the 40 truck of... I don't have the name exactly.
40 is that Kluka? No, it's Killer.
Yes.
Frank.
And again, we still really... There hasn't really been a whole lot of movement for first place. Shake and Bake has just been kind of showing off how good he is at Phoenix. Of course, it is very early, and typically we'll see a pretty big shift toward the end of the race. But as of right now, Shake and Bake is just... I mean, he's pretty much Kyle Larson at this track. Real dominant.
Overbeak is trying all he can. But the other thing I'm noticing is the two using that, that wider line. He is giving up a lot of speed, but he's also saving tires, and I think that might be his big play here, is trying to save enough tires so he has something for everybody here in this top pack for the end of the season.
Definitely that too, and I think it looks like we have a new leader now in the 34 of Overbeak, once I can find him. There is actually, yeah, the 34 of Overbeak has actually taken over the lead from Shake and Bake. I mean, I wouldn't call him being completely dead in the water now. He's definitely still got plenty of speed, plenty of tires, and plenty of laps to go in the stage, I'd assume. But
yeah, it's very early here, not only in the race, but just stage one. I mean, right now, you just came off of the truck, basically, with your slider. But when you get down pit road for the first time, you get to start playing with the wedge, your tire pressures, and that's where you're really going to see some guys shine more than others. This is driver's track, and those adjustments will mean a world of a difference.
Definitely still very early, as I think we see Shake and Bake here fall back another position to what looks like the 40 of Killer, making a pretty decent rebound after getting collected by Jason Cole and tapped into the outside wall about 5-6 laps ago. So that's pretty good for him, honestly.
Next time by will be 7 laps to go, looking for Code Red Dude to look at his tire situation, his fuel situation. I think some of these guys, that 2's definitely backed off a lot. He doesn't think he can make it on tires or fuel, so...
Definitely, it does not look like he's going to really make it, as I think the 40 peeled off into pit road.
That he did. R-Bales as well. It's in his box.
And I think definitely saving here would have been the right call. I think Shake and Bake, Shake and Bake might have been on to something. With
Mayhem came down.
Shake and Bake definitely might have been on to something, as we see Overbeak come down pit road to finally pit for tires.
Yep.
Once I can find Shake and Bake again. Shake and Bake is still going pretty strong, and I believe he's regained the lead here.
He has.
There might be a bit of rhyme and reason to how he's been driving the track. Real soft and not really too hard, but I think we're actually going to see him come down pit road this time, so maybe I should just learn to keep my mouth shut sometimes.
So maybe just a little experimentation there. Maybe the 2, either he was getting super loose and trying to correct it, or maybe he was trying to save and see how much, if it comes down to it, how much he can save. That was a nice little experiment for him early in the race.
Definitely.
That might pay off later.
Definitely early in the race is when you really want to, you know, take gambles and experiment, see what your truck can do. And typically by the second stage, that's when you really want to get it dialed in for obviously the pinnacle of the entire event, the third stage and the final stage. So hopefully we can pick up our new leader here. I could be mistaken, but I believe it is going to be King Henry.
It is. He's still out there, still pushing along, definitely saving. You can hear him. But
oh yeah, you can definitely hear it.
If he can win this stage off of some strategy, that'd be big for him.
Shades of Matt Black from Xfinity last season. Hopefully he can actually manage to hold off.
Or backstretch here.
Hopefully he can hold off the 88 of, I believe that is Mayhem.
Mayhem came down pit road. That's not for position.
Oh, that is not actually. Yeah, definitely. You can definitely see he's just hard saving. I mean,
he might be out.
Yeah,
he's out.
Yeah, he's out. Sadly, that's a tough break for King Henry. I mean, again, if you really want to experiment, right now is the time to do it. As I think we pick up once more. He stayed out.
Oh
maybe
wow!
Maybe he thinks he could just coast it.
Just crawl it around.
I think he's just gonna coast it. That, you know.
Oh boy!
I think that's a first.
He spun it. Tires out now, and now he got the 17.
That's rough, honestly.
This is the end of the stage. The 45. I believe this is Kluka. Is out of fuel, but I think he just won the stage. Wow.
I mean, you see a lot of things in the truck series. Everybody running out of fuel typically isn't one of them, but when it happens, by God, is it funny.
Kluka.
Yes, Kluka is the stage winner. And Alan, if I'm being honest, I don't think Jim and I really know what is currently going on. I mean, we had the 51
we had some guys
fuel.
trying to stay out there, Alan, and then some other guys were, trying to pit and just get down there. But now the question is, did Kluka trap any of these guys a lap down by staying out?
I mean, I'm sure there's a couple of the people trapped a lap down. I can't really say specifically who, but I mean, a lot of those back-of-the-pack trucks.
Looks like only 2, Cushionite and Ty Racing, trapped a lap down, but everyone came down, so they should be on the lead lap now. We should have 21 trucks on the lead lap.
Coming back to the restart, it seems like the 21 might have messed up something on his pits.
He turned straight to the wall. I'm no scientist here, but I think when you nose into the inside wall, that gives you a lot of damage. And no, he's out of fuel.
Oh. So it seems like he might have just taken completely tires and no fuel, sadly. As we actually have, once again, a new leader here. And actually, I do believe the 21 will not get counted for leading that lap since he couldn't really get past the line.
Yeah, this is going to hurt him a lot.
I believe Mayhem's going to be credited with that lap. And
they are
still leading.
4 wide, 3 wide back here. It's a hornet's nest back here from about 5th on back.
Definitely. I mean, again, you can just see that spread of people all using their different lines, trying to get that fresh, clean air. I mean, it's definitely, just looking at it, it's not even just a 2-groove racetrack. You see people going into that and to turns 1 and 2, you're 3 and 4 for people that were a little bit confused by that. You got people going 3, 4 wide through that turn. So
it's a wide racetrack, but there is only about 2 grooves where you can, stick the truck in the corners without hitting somebody. So, I mean, it's impressive that they can go 4 wide and 5 wide, but it isn't going to be very beneficial for them unless they, knock a guy out of the way.
Definitely, I must try.
Somebody just hit the wall for the second.
Yes, it looks like, I could be wrong, but that was the 40 truck of Killer, I believe.
I think it was Overbeak.
Ding the wall.
Went from second all the way back to fifth. Now he's got to work his way back up.
Yeah, we're going to focus. I mean, well, not really like in the first stage, but Mayhem now pretty much the shake and bake of stage 2, where he's just up front the entire time. Is there any amount of strategy for tires and fuel here in the second stage?
Well, with 19 laps in stage 2, that should mean there should be nobody coming to pit road, because we had guys stretch it all the way out 21 laps in stage 1. So we should see. I mean, you probably don't go all out here. You gotta save a little bit since it's 3 times wear. But at the same time, we shouldn't see anybody come down to pit road.
Definitely. I'm sure here shortly we're going to see Mayhem start to back off a little bit and give away some of his lead, as it looks like he's got probably a decent 1 second, maybe 1.5 second lead. And we're getting a comment from Heredia. He believes they should be good, which, yeah, I'm sure they are. I mean, you're not really going to see anyone come down pits except for those people that are towards the back that are going, alright, stage points right now. Just give them to me. And they're just going to constantly push it. Anyway, going back to our stage 1 winner, the 45 of Kluka. I mean, he's not doing terrible right now. He's sitting in 4th now. It seems like he just barely got 3rd through that last turn there.
Yeah, he's running down the 00 right now. I'm not sure who the 00 is.
The 00 need to start learning the driver's truck. The 00, yes, that is MBD. You got dropped. Taking a break from the JGR Xfinity series, or JGR's Xfinity lineup in last season, moving over to Penske to be co-star drivers with Code Red Dew in the 32. So, I mean, Masopes definitely did not make no mistakes there signing MBD. He is one heck of a driver. He's got plenty of talent down here in the trucks. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him win a race or two.
He is slowly but surely reeling in that 88. I'm not sure. You said that you think Mayhem might be trying to give up a little bit of his lead to conserve. The guys behind him, I'm pretty sure Kluka and the guys behind are trying to kind of back it off a little bit. As another Thor Sport truck back there, that might be Ghostkilla trying to work his way up. But
yes, that is
a little bit of
strategy
difference here. MBD going all out.
I feel like Mayhem, he got up front and stayed up front way too early for way too long. I feel like he might be getting awfully close for tires and fuel. I'm not going to say...
I think tires is the issue, because you can come across the line and have like 1% left on that right rear, and it is a scary proposition.
Definitely. I mean, there's been a couple of Xfinity races for me in public lobbies where I've come across the line with 0. So, tires here are definitely a very important part in the entire strategy.
A nice battle here back for, I believe this is 5th, between Ghostkilla and Shake and Bake. Shake and Bake's still trying to make his way up after losing some track position on strategy.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Shake and Bake kind of drop a little bit in the second stage. Do you think he's still just working on that setup?
It's hard to say. One thing about Phoenix is it... Oh! And Tim just put the 2 in the wall. Might have lagged. I'm not sure what just happened there.
There might have been a bit of lag there, but that's definitely painful for the 2 of Shake and Bake. I mean, he was off to a pretty decent start coming off of Daytona, but definitely a little.
Well, now track position's even more important, because I mean he's even further back here with a lot of aero damage. Maybe you pit here. Maybe you pit and try to get ahead of it, get your track position back.
Honestly, I mean, how many laps do we have to go?
This time by It was, hold on, still looking. 4 laps to go. Next time by will be 3. So, I mean, the scary thing is, you know, he could go multiple laps down if he tries pitting.
I think right now, with there being so few laps to go, and with there being a lack of manual cautions and game cautions, I don't think you pit here. I think you just stay out, and if you go a lap down, you go a lap down. Because you immediately get that right back, regardless of whatever you do on that pit stop. So, definitely think staying out here is the right move to go.
So, how about this for food for thought? Code Red Dew on his stream, his tire light came on when he hit the start-finish line with 3 to go. He hasn't been pushing nearly as hard as Mayhem and Ghost Killa and Pluka and Overbeak up here. These guys might have to back it off even more because, I mean, if that guy back there is struggling with tires, it's dangerous for the guys that have been pushing.
Definitely. I mean, I think we're actually coming up to probably the last lap, if not the second to last. We're already seeing a couple of... Yep. We just saw Ghost Killa there. He kind of clipped the outside wall in that last corner.
He's going to blow a tire here. He's already up to the wall trying to make sure if he pops it, it will just kind of stay on the wall here. There it goes.
Yep, that is it. No, that was it. That was the end of the stage, and Mayhem was the Stage 2 winner, so congrats to him. Definitely making a bit of a rebound from the start of the race, as I think he started upper midfield, maybe somewhere in the 5th through 8th range. So good job.
I actually think he started at the very end of the field because he didn't qualify. I think he's the guy that started from like 20th.
If that's the case, then that's definitely very good on Mayhem. I mean, after sadly lagging out of Daytona, I think here today with a stage win, and I wouldn't be hesitant to say a race win as well. It'll definitely be good points for him.
I'm trying to keep ThorSport up front. I mean, ThorSport's looking really, really strong.
Yeah, I mean, ThorSport's definitely all out there. It doesn't seem like any of them are really struggling with the 88 and the 99. Currently 1 and 2. It looks like the 98 is going to get pushed up towards the outside as 34, or no, not 34, the 45 takes the lead, but he's second place is still really being fought over as they're 4 or 5 wide coming across that finish line again. And it seems like Mayhem's just going to run away again.
Yeah, he's just setting sail right now as these guys are battling so hard behind him.
I mean, definitely might be a little bit of a strategy. I mean, we've seen people go about 21 laps before any real issues arise. So, depending on how long this final stage is, I think pushing it here and going as hard as you can isn't it's not a terrible idea. If you can go out there and stay up front.
Another breaking news situation here. King Henry 2K has lagged out, so he will be credited with, I believe, last place points for that.
Yes, I think that is definitely a bit painful, as I believe, again, he had started in 4th. Although I could be getting names mixed up again.
Wow. The 98 of Ghost Killa has been pushed all the way from... He got up to 2nd there, and now he's been pushed all the way back. It looks like... I mean, he's beyond the Hornet's Nest right now, so he's probably around 13th, 14th.
Oh, he's looking like he's... No, he's not last place exactly, but he's way back there, sadly. I mean, it's a bit rough.
Getting that track position back is going to be so tough. You're going to have to hope for a few cautions to get back, you know, in contention for the win here.
Also, apparently another truck has lagged out. That would be Solis, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if I can...
It is.
find him here. Yeah, sadly, Solis has lagged out, so that I'm not sure exactly how his race was going, but that is very sad to see him lag out.
It is, and I mean, whether it's internet issues or something else, you hate to see it for the teams as well. I mean, ThorSport doing so well, they're going to have to accept that one of their brethren did not get a very good finish today.
Sadly, but I believe Mayhem is definitely going to make up for it. I mean, he's going to get the win. I'm honestly going to call it right now. And
there's nobody within half straightaway of him.
Yeah, as we see Nick actually clip the outside wall. I believe he got into some contact with NBD there. As Ghost Killer goes around, I believe that is a game caution there, so we're going to see what happens.
I don't know if I'm so confident in Mayhem now. We know a lot of guys that, would enjoy moving Mayhem out of the way for a win. And,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Phoenix, this is a bumper run track, so you'll have to set sail like you did on the last restart.
Definitely. I mean, hopefully Mayhem can just get as low as he can throughout all 4 turns and just go. He needs to run away with this as fast as he can. I mean, how many laps do we have left?
That was 21 coming to the line. So that should take out strategy because they're going to come down. It's going to be about 17, 18 laps to go. We've seen them make that before, so it should be good on fuel.
Definitely, as we
just
see
a race to the finish.
What happens here, we're going to take a watch and see just how low Mayhem goes. He's not using up the full track. He's definitely still got a little bit of space, but he's got one hell of a pack behind him. So we see Dalator make a small move to the inside, but I believe he had to brake. He might have been just a bit too tight there. So we're actually going to see a new contender in, let's see if I can find him. Someone who hasn't really been.
QSA Skywalker in 15.
We actually also got Code Red in second place.
Yeah, Code Red also made his way up there.
That's definitely good on them, too.
Code Red's staying with Mayhem. We didn't see that last restart, but Code Red's right there, man. He's ready to pounce.
Definitely. I mean, Code Red and QSA are... I wouldn't be surprised if they're pretty much just going to sit and breathe down Mayhem's neck for the remainder of the race, hoping that he makes a single mistake, as we actually see him go wide here. And it looks like Code Red is going to move up onto the inside of Mayhem and possibly somehow get a little bit of a run here. And actually, Code Red's going to have the inside. He's going to take the lead, but Mayhem's going to come back with that crossover, and he's going to retake the inside and the lead. And I bet you QSA Skywalker is just absolutely loving this right now.
This is what he wants to see for sure. These guys battling is going to bring him right up into the conversation, along with the 0-0. NBDU got dropped.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people had their doubts about the Penske truck or the Star trucks, but I mean, I'm sure that's pretty much silencing everyone that had their doubts now. As we see, I believe that was Mayhem clip the wall for a moment there.
And Code Red's going to take advantage of this.
We have
Diamond's it. He's clear.
Huge slow up. There's a bit of a slide job, and it looks like Mayhem's just going to get blocked in by the combo of Code Red and MBD. We might see a Penske Trucks 1-2 here.
In Chevys. That's odd.
It's definitely a bit interesting, but
how about that for Code Red? He was mired back there kind of mid-pack all day. Found some strategy there on the last stop. And, I mean, here he is, man. He's taking the lead, and he doesn't want to look back, but he's got a miracle. NBDU got dropped.
Definitely. I mean, I'm sure we're not going to see a whole lot of fighting between Code Red and NBD. Not as much as we saw between Code Red and Mayhem, at least. I'm sure they're definitely going to work it out and try and just make Masopes proud. There might be a little bit of fighting towards the last lap, maybe at the last turn. But otherwise, I just see them riding it out and staying 1-2 for as long as they can and basically just keep Mayhem away. We actually...
Right now, they're kind of pulling away a little bit from Mayhem behind them. That time Mayhem actually was able to stay with.
We actually see someone make a bit of a return. Shake and Bake has managed to work his way back up into, I believe, a battle for 5th after falling way back into that field and getting put into the wall to pull out that caution about 10 laps ago.
Guys fighting back there. It's really impressive when you can make your way up through, you're fighting through the pack because, I mean, like we said, it's multi-grouped. That makes it really hard to pass. I mean, you have to work and pass for about 3 or 4 laps before you can actually get it done without contact, and it's impressive when you see that
Definitely,
happen.
you really need to be good at side-by-side racing as we see Mayhem try and make a bit of a run on NBD again and actually take the inside away from NBD and just kind of sit, and we might see Mayhem come back in for second, but they're just really side-by-side.
Oh, wow.
That entire turn, and we actually have...
Look at the 45!
Yeah, the 45 actually managing to come up and maybe get the inside on Code Red.
Oh, he just bumped him out of the way.
Definitely, I mean, we have a new, I believe a new leader in the 45 again. We're actually going to see... Once I can find him. Yeah, no, the 45 of Kluka is just going to take that lead after that fierce battling between Mayhem and NBD and Code Red.
We saw he won stage 1, Kluka did. I mean, he almost won Daytona just a week ago. Can he get the job done here at Phoenix, get that win?
I mean, definitely, I think Kluka is definitely a competitor. I'm not sure, how many laps do we have left?
At the line, it says 8 laps. 8 laps to go, 7 to go at the line.
I mean, you've pretty much. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Kluka, I feel like he can definitely hold off Mayhem and the rest of the field for 7 more laps here, because Kluka's got just no lap traffic in front of him and absolutely nothing to really get in his way. But then again, Mayhem's just sitting right there on his bumper.
Mayhem found something right there in turns 1 and 2 and really closed into the bumper of Kluka. This is going to be a close one. These two have been, I mean, pretty fast, both of them all day. Mayhem just a little bit faster, in my opinion, though.
Definitely. I feel like Mayhem does have a little bit more on the experience side of things, as we see him give Kluka a big shot to the bumper going into turn 1 there. Kluka did not move at all, though.
Does Kluka block? Oh, yes, he does.
Yes, I mean, this is definitely what you want to be doing for the lead. You want to keep your enemies on your outside, because that inside line is definitely where you want to stay. And yes, we do see the 2 of Shake and Bake make a bit of a return up to the front of the field again after getting mired back there and being stuck in the back of the field after having to repair his truck. So,
all right, so I'm looking here. There's 5 laps to go. 25%, now down to 23% on Code Red. Tires still might be an issue here. It's going to be really, really close on tires.
Definitely.
Fuel will be just fine.
I'm sure they're kind of pushing it a lot on tires. I'm sure a lot of them are looking in the 30s, maybe 40% right now. So hopefully we don't see any blowouts, but I'm sure every single one of those drivers is all hoping for the person in front of them to make a mistake, blow out their tire, or just get taken out.
But are they really hoping for that, though? Because it might bring out a caution, and that brings in a whole different element of strategy. It's so many different factors that go into it, and these guys are just kind of on the threshold of protecting that right rear and going out there and beating the guy in front of them.
You're definitely right. We're going to see Mayhem get to the right, or the left rear end of Kluka here and unseat him for first position once again, as we see Mayhem make a return to the lead with 2 more familiar faces just behind Kluka in Shake and Bake and the 34 of Overbeek.
That time by, it was 2 laps ago, 1 to go.
So yeah, one to go next time by, as we see Kluka making a crossover again once more for the lead. There's some fierce battling.
I mean, here.
Definitely Shake and Bake is probably
really, really good spot.
Yeah, he's probably just watching all this battling. Maybe he can capitalize on it coming into turn 1, depending on what happens between Mayhem and Kluka. As we see Mayhem give another shot to the bumper of Kluka, move him up the track.
Two, though.
Yeah, watch the 2. I mean, he's gonna get on the inside, but he's gonna get a block from Kluka there. That 45 is
gonna send it right back into the 88.
It does not look like as we see the 88 click the inside wall, and we're gonna come to the line.
45.
It's pretty much a photo finish.
He's gonna get it.
We're gonna see the 45 get the win for today, with the 2 finishing in second. Goodly enough. I mean, definitely a good resurgence for the 2 there. And we're going to have Mayhem finish in third after a pretty shameful performance at Daytona.
And, I mean, can you write up any better? Kluka lost one at Daytona. He gets it right back here at Phoenix.
Definitely. I mean, he lost Daytona by inches, and he's going to win Phoenix by inches. So it's... I honestly couldn't think of a better ending for Kluka for Phoenix. Hopefully,
and I mean, Mayhem can't be upset about it, because really, we just saw the perfect, when you bump, you've got to run, and Mayhem didn't run away far enough, and he hit the inside wall, and it was on from there, because 45 bumped him right out of the way.
Definitely. I think Mayhem dropped the ball a little bit there after managing to hit the inside wall, sadly. So hopefully we can get Kluka in here and get him a bit of an interview for the race.
Let's get him in here. Kluka rules. Oh, he's already part of it because he was here last week. So he will have to join. We'll have to tell him to join.
Definitely. I did tell him, so hopefully we'll see him get in here. Hopefully we can get a bit of an interview going with him. And we actually have race winner and stage 1 winner, TTV Kluka rules.
Let's go, baby.
That's definitely got to be nice for you. I mean, as I said earlier, you lost Daytona by inches, and you just won Phoenix by mere inches once again. How'd you do it? How was the race?
Oh, it was awesome. Tiger was an awesome crew chief, though. So our goal was to run a preset 6 save throughout the whole entire thing. I took the lead there. I knew Mayhem was going to send me, so I backed off going into the first corner. He sent me up the track going into the 4 there, and I sent them too.
Definitely. I mean, there was a lot of just back and forth between you and Mayhem there on the last about 10 laps. A lot of Mayhem shooting it into the back of you, and you just in return going right back into his bumper. I mean, it must have been pretty scary for both you and Mayhem, and pretty good in Shake and Bake's eyes to see you two battling it out. I mean,
Tiger was pointing out that Shake was coming. He has a fast car. He did. The thing is, though, coming to that line there where the caution was waved, I blew a tire right when that caution came out. I wasn't going to make it to the line of 1. I wasn't going to. I pushed
definitely.
Hard.
I mean, there was definitely a lot of tire blowing, and mainly just that throughout the entire first stage, and barely on that caution of the final stage. So, thankfully, it did not impede you that much.
Oh yeah, and also too, I didn't see if you guys realized this, but in stage 1, Mayhem ended up wrecking me. I still rebounded to get the stage 1.
I believe I caught that on here, but I do not believe I called it. But yeah, that was definitely very interesting. I mean, being able to rebound from a crash and just keep going and grab the stage win, that's definitely a bit of a strength. I mean, again, as I said last week at Daytona, you're definitely showing off to a lot of the people that doubted you that you're good. You belong here. So,
oh yeah, thank you.
I mean, again, it's just a really great performance. I wonder, hopefully we can get Shake and Bake in here, but...
Yeah, before you do that, I do want to ask Kluka a question, because you had, I mean, just a brilliant crew chief up there on the box. It it kind of amazes me that you guys are able to save enough in stage 1. Did that kind of play into the strategy for stage 3 there and the race win?
Yeah, we realized that too. We did a quick practice race like one stage before, and we realized that we had to keep our tire temperatures below 200. So going into there, I thought I was good for that run, but coming up to like 5 to go, I had like 40% on tires. I burned 40% on tires in 5 laps. So it was a hard race for sure.
Yeah, it was a smartly ran race, and I think the right driver ended up in victory lane. So again, congrats.
Thank you.
Definitely congrats here. We're actually sadly Shake and Bake will not join. He's already turned off his PlayStation, and I believe he's just gonna go ahead, rest, and relax for now.
We can get Mayhem in here.
Definitely. I mean, if we can get Mayhem in here, there's definitely going to be a good bit of words between himself and Kluka.
So, he can't complain though. He can't. He sent and then he got sent again. Bump and run. When you bump, you gotta run, and he didn't run far enough.
There was definitely just a lot of just bumping and running and constant bumper banging. Yeah, it does not look like we're going to get anyone to join in. I do not believe Mayhem is really in that much of a talking mood right now. And once again, congratulations, Kluka, for getting your first win of the season at Phoenix after being robbed at Daytona. Jim, do you have anything you'd like to add?
We saw a pretty fun race between strategy and pure brawn. I mean, we basically saw the perfect threshold of trying to save your stuff and going out there and beating the guy in front of you. And I think you will probably see that. We've seen in other leagues that, stage 1 is really crazy aggressive with saving in order to make it in the Cup Series. So Xfinity and Cup Series tomorrow, it should be the same deal, strategy and finding that threshold.
Definitely. I mean, we're going to see a lot of battling between all of the drivers in Xfinity and Cup as we're going to end the broadcast for tonight. Thank you guys, all that showed up for the second race of the truck season at Phoenix. Be sure to catch us tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for Xfinity and 8:45 Eastern Time for the Cup Series. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.